Hello and welcome. So today we're going to dive into a real paradox. On one hand, you've got this huge, well-funded system that's built to empower the next generation of engineers. But on the other, you have this deep, deep frustration from the very people it's supposed to be helping. How can both of those things be true? Well, let's get into it.
So this is a quote from a former engineering student. And wow, it's powerful, right? It's just this raw, unfiltered disillusionment. It feels like it's a world away from the bright future and innovation we usually associate with engineering. This feeling that the system is a trap is really the heart of the story. So what is the system that's making people feel this way?
To really get why there's this disconnect, we've got to look at the system itself. Turns out there's a massive, multi-layered framework of financial support for engineering in India. So let's break down how it all works, starting from the very top. Okay, so at the national level, you've got the heavy hitters. We're talking about bodies like the AICTE, which kind of sets the rules for technical education, the UGC, which is in charge of universities, and the Department of Science and Technology. These are the main engines driving funding for everything from modernizing labs to paying for doctoral fellowships all across the country.
Now, let's zoom in a bit. It's not just the national government. State governments add another whole layer of support. In Tamil Nadu, for instance, you have the State Council for Science and Technology, which runs programs to fill in any gaps in research funding. Plus, there's a big new program, the Chief Minister's Research Grant, that offers some serious funding directly to students and faculty right there in the state.
Okay, so we have all this money at the national and state levels. Great. But how does it actually get to the people on the ground? Well, the university itself acts as a central hub, managing and handing out all these resources. Let's take a look at how that actually happens.
Right at the heart of Anna University's whole research world is the CSRC. Honestly, you can think of it like the main artery. This is the office that's the bridge between the students and faculty and all those big funding agencies we just mentioned. Its whole reason for being is to make it easier to get research projects sponsored and up and running. And this isn't just some stuffy office with a name on the door, you know? The CSRC is where the action happens. They're the ones organizing the calls for new projects, running the online portal where you submit everything, cutting the checks for the projects that get approved, and acting as the official go-between for all those outside agencies. But wait, it doesn't even stop there. The support goes way beyond just your traditional research grants. Inside the university, you've also got these dedicated hubs for innovation. Places like the Center for Entrepreneurship Development and the Anna Incubator, which gets its backing from the National Atal Innovation Mission. They exist specifically to help startups get off the ground, run things like hackathons, and turn cool academic ideas into actual businesses. All right, we've talked about the structure, the agencies, the offices, but let's talk about the cold, hard cash. What does all this support actually look like in rupees? Let's follow the money and see what grants are really on the table. For undergrads, there are grants specifically designed to get them building stuff. You can get up to 25,000 rupees for a student team to create a real physical prototype. And this isn't about writing papers. No, this is direct funding to get your hands dirty and actually build something. It's not just about the students either. The system gives new faculty a real launch pad. They can get a one-time seed grant of 100,000 rupees to help them kickstart their very first research project at the university. It's designed to help them hit the ground running. And for the bigger, more established projects, well, the numbers get way bigger. That Chief Minister's Research Grant we mentioned can provide up to a whopping 40 lakh rupees for a single project led by a faculty member. So that just shows you the incredible scale of funding that's out there for really ambitious research. So what you start to see is this clear picture of two separate tracks, right? One for students and one for faculty. For students, the money is geared towards smaller, hands-on goals like building prototypes, plus things like scholarships. For faculty, the funding scales way up for big projects, seed money for new labs, and other career support like grants for travel. Okay, so we've mapped this whole thing out. It's huge, it's complex, and honestly, it's genuinely well-funded. So now let's bring this all back to where we started and try to connect this massive machine back to that one individual's experience. I mean, let's just recap for a second, because it's a lot. We're not talking about some small, simple setup here. This is a massive, multi-layered network. You've got central government agencies, state-level programs, special university hubs, and even incubators for new ideas. It's this whole architecture of support. And that brings us right back to the big nagging question. We've seen the incredible system that's in place, and we've heard the raw frustration from a student who felt completely trapped by it.
So when a support system is this big and this detailed, what's creating that huge gap between the promise and the reality? Is it the bureaucracy? Is it that people just don't know this stuff exists? Or is it something deeper? That's really the tension at the heart of this whole thing.